My name is Sean Lynch. I'm a professor of digital cinema here at Oklahoma City Community College, and I've been a filmmaker for 20 plus years in a variety from art department to grip electric, producing, a little bit of everything. So on the college standpoint, my day normally begins, coming in and just, trying to get a cup and paperwork stuff. There's a lot of just, grading and stuff like that. But one of the fun things I get to do is right away, pretty much starting about 11 o'clock. Our students aren't super early risers, but about 11 o'clock they start moseying in, and I get to deal with students every day that are very passionate about coming and being filmmakers. So it's very fun, and I get a chance to, basically do these hands-on scenarios that we do. We try at the college to simulate film as much as possible. It's very hard to simulate a film set because it is chaotic, but we try to do that as good as possible with all our classes. So I teach cinematography classes, so they get to learn the cameras, the lights, all the different equipment. I teach the production design classes where they get to build these wonderful sets. I teach the business class where they get to learn all their contracts and all the fun stuff they don't really want to learn, but it's very important to the business and that kind of stuff. So it's fun because I get to basically every day help students become the next, hopefully, Spielbergs, right, and next generation of filmmakers. So. And then kind of a standard day on a film set, the great thing about it is it's different. I tell students all the time, if you don't like the idea of doing the same job every single day, then a film set's for you, because you come in with new problems every single day. So again, your day can start at 2 in the morning, or it could start at 8 at night. It just really varies on what's going on with the production, and that can flip within a week. So you can be on the same production and call it 4 or 1 a.m. and then towards the end of the week you're calling it 8 p.m. That kind of stuff. But it's great because you're just working together with 100 other people, 200 other people to make a single product, which I think is pretty cool. In filmmaking, most people don't get to to basically be able to create something like that and create it in such a collaborative environment, and that's what filmmaking is. Yeah, I mean, I didn't come to film right away. I did a lot of different things. I was in the Air Force for 6 years. I've owned businesses with my wife. I've worked for the TSA at the airport. That was kind of the last kicker that got me to come back to college, and basically I just kind of decided I wanted to do something that I wanted to do. That I wouldn't really feel like work anymore, and that's where I kind of I like stories, I like to collaboratively work with people, that kind of stuff. So that's what really brought me to film in general, and then I did it, and I just really never looked back and love every minute of what I do. I like to say, especially as an instructor, I get a chance to not really work. I get to come and play with students every day and help them learn to do their craft better, and I think that's pretty cool. So if you would ask me, even when I was in the film industry, that I was ever going to be a college professor, the answer would have been probably not. That was probably not my initial thought. But again, like I said, I did my first class, and I just fell in love with the idea of working with students and like I said, helping them hone what they want to do. And I like to say, we talk about it a lot in our program, is that we kind of help students' dreams come true, because a lot of people think, especially coming from Oklahoma, that they can't be part of the film industry. And it's absolutely not true. We have an amazing crew, and we have amazing people here that can help them learn how to do it. So that's kind of what I get to do every day. So it's pretty rewarding. I had a child that was growing up and stuff like that. And the film industry is very demanding on your time and on what you do and that kind of stuff. So I just had a different level of what I wanted to do in the film industry. I didn't really want to work the 12-hour days anymore. And again, what I think is cool right now is the film industry is really exploding in Oklahoma. When I first started out here 20 years ago, it wasn't that way. I like to say we blood, sweat, and tears is what we put into the industry to help grow it here and that kind of stuff. So I had to travel a lot and stuff like that. So really, that's kind of what really shifted with me, was kind of having more of a set schedule, something like that. But I do miss it. Every day I miss being on a film set, and I kind of, like I said, all of us are a little bit of, I don't know, adrenaline junkies might be the thing. Like, we like the chaos, and I do miss that a little bit. But again, I still get to experience it with my students in that way. The most enjoyable part, like I said, I like the chaos of set. I just like that it's different. Like, I always was a person that loves to have problems, because then I could solve those problems, and it was nice to know that every single day you'd come in and there was just something else that was there for you to, just to step out and fix, basically. It's just because it's never the same thing twice. That's what I like, because I'm not a person who wants to be in a redundant job where I go to an office, fill out the same papers every day, do the same thing. That's not my mentality of what I am. So I really enjoyed that of it. And then, like I said, some of the bad stuff is the hours, and I tell people all the time that when you're in the film industry, your film family becomes very important to you, because they become more your family than your family's is at the time, because you're going to spend way more time with your film family than you do them. And that's it's good and bad, because I've made some lifelong friends that I will never forget. But again, it does sometimes hurt your family life a little bit, and that's kind of one of the backdraws of the film industry, is it's not very forgiving, and not being able to be available for when the films happen. Pretty easy here. I actually was one of the first graduates out of the Oklahoma City Community College film program that was started by Gray Frederickson. If you don't know who he was the producer of The Godfathers, Apocalypse Now, The Outsiders. He's the godfather of our program, and he started this, and I was one of his first students out of the program. Again, I was working for TSA. I didn't like my job very much. I'm like, I gotta go back to school and do something that I like, and just talking about, again, for I think the kids out here that are trying to figure out, well, what do I really want to do, is you really have to find out what you want to do, and by coming to college and stuff, that's what you're here for. Because I originally came back to go to nursing school, and I was in nursing school for about a semester and went, you're going to do the same thing again, it's going to make good money, you're going to not like what you do. And then that's where I kind of came around. I like to tell stories. Film was interesting. I found out there was an amazing film program here, and I graduated with an associate's degree and went off and did it. And that's one of the great things about film. So I only have an associate's degree, and the college was nice enough to let me come back and become a full-time professor with only an associate's degree, because I have 20 years of experience in the industry, and so I kind of got the benefit of that. So. Is people ask, well, what education do I need? And the answer is zero, realistically. So obviously, being a film professor, that's pretty horrible for me to say, right? But the main thing is, why do you come to film school then? And I always tell students, you're not really coming for this piece of paper that you're going to get at the end. You're not really coming for the degree. You're coming for the knowledge. What are you going to learn here? And what are you going to be able to take away with you? Is going to make you employable in the industry. Just the soft skills you get taught. That's one of the things I think our program does best. So we're going to teach you how to light, we're going to teach you how to run cameras, we're going to teach you sound, we're going to teach you all those hard skills, but realistically, the soft skills are going to make you, because I know people that are very talented that don't last in the film industry, and it's, be on time. Be a troubleshooter. That's the skill set. That's why I make my students build these in 2 weeks, because they're having meltdowns getting to the end, because I'm like, we're having all these problems. I'm like, okay, great, that's film sets. Now how do we fix it and how do we overcome that? So teaching those troubleshooting skills and that kind of stuff, and that's just led me in life. Like I said, I was a benefit. I came to, like I said, film a little late. So I was in the military. I had some already ingrained soft skills that were there, but just that idea that you like that. If you don't like that mentality of being a troubleshooter, then probably film isn't for you, because like I said, every single day I tell students all the time, there's 100 things when you step on a film set every day, they're going to try to stop you from making your film. And you have to overcome those 100 things every single day. So if you can come off with that mentality, you're employable. Huge. I was just in there, we were actually trying to rip some VHS tapes for, our library has some old VHS tapes we were trying to get for some older movies and stuff like that, and I was sitting with a student in there that was dropping, we had shot on the ARRI Alexi Mini LF, which is kind of the same kind of camera, shot Dune, and it's a major motion picture camera, but they were dropping, I don't know, it was 500 gig of, for their short film of information, and I'm like, you realize that back in the day, this would have been what we call 1-for-1. Like when you used to capture your stuff into an editing system, it was if you shot an hour, you had to sit there for an hour and capture your footage, and now they drag and drop and it's gone in 30 seconds. Just the accessibility, the cost is brought down. So students, again, like I said, they can come out of here and take stuff to Sundance, with the amount of, the technology's made it so they can do stuff like that, where a small community college wouldn't be able to afford, or they wouldn't be able to afford the amount of the film stock and the labs and all the other stuff they would have had to do. So. I always tell people, even to come in our program, try a class. Like Cinematography 1 for us is kind of our basic filmmaking class, and it's going to tell you right then and there that is film right for you or not, because we're gonna cut back all the stuff that's not fun. And you're gonna understand that film's not fun every day, right? It's a job, and you're gonna be doing stuff maybe that you don't like doing, stuff like that. But again, if you never try it, then you don't know if you wanted to do it. So just come take that class, and if it's not for you, I'm never gonna suggest that you stay. Go find something you are passionate about. Go find something that you really wanna be involved in every single day. Realistically, if you wanna write scripts, write. Even if it's the wrong format initially, and that you can come to school and learn how to do all that here if you want to, but just learn how to tell a good story. I mean, that's really what screenwriting is it's all about stories. Everything else will get figured out in the end. Okay, it's very interesting. Generally, unless the writer is also the director, which is actually fairly rare in film, believe it or not, writers generally aren't on sets. They basically sell their script and they're pretty much not there. It is quite different in TV. TV, if you ever heard of the writing room, is much different. So when you get these series and stuff, that's why if you ever heard the term showrunner, and then you'll have the director on this TV series too, right? You'll see directed by, but one of the things you'll notice about the directed by is that it changes almost every week. Why? Because the director in a TV series is not a director in a feature film. They are more there to point cameras and select shots and stuff like that, but the really story, the core of the vision, comes from the showrunner, which is generally the head writer, and then they have a writer room of about 10 writers, and they're there every single day, and the actors literally come in midweek, and they work with the writers. So the writers are very involved in the process, and they're on sets, and they're doing things, which is, again, quite different than feature film. So it really depends on where you are. If you want to be more involved as a writer in the process, then you need to focus more towards TV than feature films. Oh, hundreds. I mean, there's departments, right? I mean, so obviously people know writer, screenwriter, director, producer, editor, right? Those are kind of big ones. Director of photography, which is the side of all the technical side. You can have the gaffer, kind of a funny name, right? That's actually the head of the lighting department. You have electricians, you have grips, you have key grips, you have people that just design sets, production designers, set decorators, set dressers. You have props people that deal with stuff that actors touch. You have hair, makeup, special effects people that blow stuff up, right? We have stunt people that fall off buildings, right? I mean, it's a huge amount of 100. We have transportation people. We have people that just work in an office and deal all the logistics stuff of things. We have assistant directors that run the sets. I mean, it's just, literally, I could throw open a diagram for you here, and I fill up an entire board twice during that lecture of just these are the crew positions that exist that you can go into. So I like to tell people that film is really cool, is think about it as a small town. If you think of film as a small town, any job that exists in that small town probably exists on a film set, because a film set is its own little town. So again, we have caterers, so if you love food, you can come be part of the film industry. If you love music, you can come be part of the film industry. I mean, it's just such a different thing that if you have a passion, you can probably find a job in the film industry that does it, but you're making films instead of doing it in kind of a standard practice. I mean, like I said, a lot of times, like I said, the director's gonna small tweaks and stuff, but I've literally seen directors go in and completely just throw the script out the window and do their own thing. I mean, and there's also, movies that don't have scripts at all. Mad Max Fury Road, perfect example. That whole script wasn't a script, it was a storyboards. Because it was such a visual movie, they decided they didn't need the written word on it. They just did it that way. Or if you see like District 9 was a perfect example. They had a basic script for that particular film, but it was all improv. So the actors and the director, the scenes went different directions, stuff like that. I like to tell people that the script is a good bone, and that's why it's very important for the writers to come in and make a good, solid story. But then you're allowing them to play within that story. And the biggest thing you're trying to do is make sure that it's impactful. I mean, I think you can do it from the get-go. I mean, we get students all the time. I mean, just go out and just, again, tell a story, even if it's with your phone. It doesn't have to be amazing, right? Just learn how to be a good storyteller, that kind of stuff. And that's why you come to like a film school, to learn the technical side of it, to make yourself better and stuff like that. But I also tell students all the time, like, community colleges are great. Why? Because you can come concurrently. Come while you're in school. Why not come in high school, learn a craft that you want to be able to do, and move towards already getting an associate's degree or a certificate or whatever you want for your stuff while you're in high school.